Dear students, we are going to discuss about organization of life. In this chapter, we are already seen types of cell, types of tissue, types of organs. Now we are discuss about organ system. What is organ system? A group of organs form an organ system to perform a specific function. For example, digestive system, circulatory system, reproductive system, digestive system, muscular system. These are an example. Skeletal system. The heart and the blood vessel. For example, circulatory system. The heart and the blood vessel together to form a cardiovascular system. The circulatory system are otherwise known as cardiovascular system. The organs such as nose, pharynx, trachea, lungs and diaphragm works together and as a respiratory system. The mouth, esophagus, stomach, duodenum and intestine. Intestine means small intestine and large intestine. It includes digestive system. These are an examples. In other examples are given endocrine system, integumentary system, muscular system, reproductive system, skeletal system, urinary system and immune system. These are an organ system examples. Next, let us detail study about respiratory system. Only one systems are given in your chapter, respiratory system. Our respiratory system consists of an organ like trachea, bronchus and lungs, which are responsible for exchange of air between atmosphere and the blood. So, through the nostril cavity and passing through the lungs and exchange of gases takes place. See the diagram. The air is entered through the nostril cavity, through the nose and passing through the nostril cavity, and next the air is entered into the pharynx. Pharynx is தொண்டை பகுதி. அடுத்தது larynx. Larynx என்றது குரல் வளை, voice box. Trachea. Trachea is made up of finger-like structure. Is made up of cartilaginous bones. It connected into two lungs. It is below the lungs are attached in a diaphragm. It is a muscular shade. It is involving in a respiration. This is a structure of respiratory system. See here, our respiratory system consists of a trachea, bronchus, lungs, which are responsible for exchange of air between the atmosphere and the blood. Let us see the structure of nose. We inhale the air through the nostrils. The air enters into the nostrils, which are lead to the nostril cavity. The inner surface of the cavity is lined with the cilia and mucus, producing cells, which make it sticky and moist. In this nostril cavity, inner surface of the layer or surrounding a finger-like structure are called cilia to prevent the dust particle. The cilia and mucus trap means filter the dust particle and germs, prevent them to going deeper. நம்மளுடைய nostril cavityல ciliary muscles வந்து present ஆயிருக்கு. ciliary tissues ciliaக்கள் வந்து present ஆயிருக்கனால இது வந்து என்னது டஸ்ட்டை வந்து ட்ராப் பண்ணும். Then the windpipe. After passing through the nostril cavity, the air enters the pharynx. Then it goes into the trachea or windpipe. The nostril cavity இருந்து வரக்கூடிய ஏர் வந்து எங்கே பாசிங் ஆகுது? windpipe passing out. The windpipe is otherwise known as voice box. It is attached within a pharynx. தொண்டையோட கனெக்ட் ஆயிருக்கு. It is a small air passage. It is otherwise known as larynx. It has a fold of tissue and vibrate with the passage of air and producing sound. இங்கிருந்து தான் நம்மளுக்கு வந்து சவுண்ட் வைப்ரேஷன், ஏர் உள்ளே போனோடனே அந்த சீலியாவில் இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த ஏர் உள்ளே வந்து என்ட்ரி ஆனோடனே என்ன ஆகிடும், இந்த வாய்ஸ் பாக்ஸ்லேருந்து சவுண்ட் வந்து ரிஃப்ளெக்ட் ஆகும். அதனால தான் நம்ம குரல் வலையிலேருந்து வாய்ஸ் வந்து வெளியில் வருது. Then next, bronchi. The trachea divides into two branches called bronchi. Each bronchus leads into a lungs. It is divided into finally air passage. It's called bronchioles. Bronchi என்றது tracheaவோட கீழ் lower part. It is connected into two lungs. The two lungs inside the wall of the lungs is called bronchioles. Next, lungs. The lungs are the organ in the chest cavity that allow our body to take in oxygen from air. They also help to remove carbon dioxide from the body. The lungs lie on either side of the breastbone and fill in the inside the chest cavity. The left lung is slightly smaller than right lung and allow to room for the heart. Within the lungs, each bronchiole leads to bunch of air sacs. Inside the bronchiole, bunches of air sacs வந்து உள்ள வந்து locate ஆயிருக்கு. This is called alveoli or alveolus. The lungs are two spongy and elastic bags on either side of the thoracic cavity. The thoracic cavity bound dorsally by the ventral column and ventrally by the sternum. மார்பெலும்புகளுக்கு உள்ள வந்து lungs வந்து ப்ரொடெக்ஷனாக இருக்குது. That is called sternum, ribs and sternum. The ribs and sternum to protect the heart and lungs. Laterally by the ribs on the lower side of the dome shaped diaphragm. கீழே உடைய கீழ் பகுதியில் muscular sheet ஒன்று present ஆகிருக்கும். That is called diaphragm. Next, alveoli. See here, this is a diaphragm, dome shaped diaphragm. This is a muscular sheet. Right lung and left lung. Next, inner wall of the lungs is called alveoli. The lungs are covered within a double wall membrane. It's known as pleural membrane. Next, alveoli. The alveoli are tiny sacs in lungs that take up of oxygen we breathe and keep your body going. Although they are microscopic, alveoli are a workhouses of your respiratory system. The alveoli is otherwise known as workhouses. In this chamber, oxygen is intake and carbon dioxide are released. The gases are exchanged in this alveoli. The total area of air sacs in the lungs above 2000 square feet or more than 100 times of the body surface area. Alveoli is meant for exchange. What is the function? It means the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide is passing out. Do you know? On an average, an adult human being at rest breathes in out 15 to 18 times in a minute. During heavy exercise, the breathing rate can increase up to 25 times per minute. Smoking damages lungs. Smoking is also linked to cancer. It must be avoided. When you sneeze, you should be cover your nose that foreign particles to expel inhaled by others. The next, what are the process? How will your air enter and outside? So this is a process of breathing. One is an inspiration, another one is an expiration. Inspiration means inhalation. Expiration means expel the air. So this is called a two process. One is an inspiration and expiration. Inhalation or exhalation. See here, see the diagram. See the diagram. The air is entered into the nose and passing through the nostril cavity and enter and reach the pharynx and pass through the trachea and reach the alveoli. Bronchi. Bronchi is passed into the bronchiole. Bronchiole is made up of alveoli inside the lungs. So in this alveoli, the gases are exchanged. Then it involving diaphragm. In this, first diagram is an inhalation. The second diagram is an exhalation. The air is inhaled and the air is exhaled. This is an diagram. First of all, what is inhalation? During the inspiration, the sternum is pushed up. Outward, the diaphragm is pulled down. This increases the volume of thoracic cavity. மார்பு பகுதி வந்து increase ஆகுது thoracic cavity and pressure decreases. பாடியோட pressure வந்து decrease ஆகுது. The air outside body flows into the lungs. Here, exchange of gases takes place between the air and the blood. Next, expiration. Expiration means expelling the air. Expelling from the air from the lungs is called expiration or otherwise known as exhalation. During it involving intercostal muscle relax and chest retaining chest wall is original position. During exhalation is very important. Diaphragm also relax, moving higher to thoracic cavity. That increases the pressure with the thoracic cavity relating to the environment. Air rushes out the lungs due to the pressure gradient. This movement of air out of the lungs is a passive event. The exchange of gases, how will you pass? The content of oxygen in the inhaled air alveoli is more than the blood flowing through the capillary. So the oxygen moves in the blood by the simple diffusion. Simple diffusion means absorption, absorbs. The hemoglobin is a red pigment in our blood to combine the oxygen. Oxygen oda combine ஆகி நம்மளுக்கு வந்து ஆக்சிக் ஹீமோக்ளோபின்ற ப்ராடக்ட் வந்து bloodல வந்து பாசிங் ஆகுது. This is an gases exchange. Next, what are the difference? See here, what are the difference? Inhalation and exhalation. During inhalation, muscles of diaphragm contract, the diaphragm goes down, the ribs move upward and outward, volume of thoracic cavity increases, the air enters into the lungs through the nose. During exhalation, the muscles of a diaphragm relax, the diaphragm goes upward, the ribs move downward, the volume of thoracic cavity decreases. The air enters into the lungs through the nose, the air goes out the lungs in a exhalation through the nose. Next, homeostasis. Homeostasis means another self-regulating process. For example, maintaining a body temperature, normal respiration, normal sweating. These are an example. The body, all the organ systems are performing a proper way. Homeostasis means a property of a human biological system where the self-regulating process tends to maintain a balance for the survival. For example, mammals are capable of maintaining constant body temperature despite the changes in the external temperature. Our behavioral and physiological responses to important regulating mechanisms that maintain the stability of homeostasis. Next, for example, the liver and kidney, brain and autonomic nervous system, endocrine system to help the homeostatic condition. Next chapter is diffusion. Diffusion is a movement of particle from an area of higher concentration to lower concentration. See the diagram. The molecules are spread out. Diffusion means the smoke through the air medium. For example, incense sticks. For examples are incense sticks, perfume filling a whole room and the movement of small molecules across a cell membrane. One of the simple demonstration of a diffusion is adding a drop like water. See here, higher the molecules are moved from the simple to higher, lower concentration to higher concentration, or higher concentration to lower. For example, see here and another example, mosquito repellents. Next, see the diagram. Tea bag. A tea bag placed in a cup or hot water diffused to the water medium. டீ கப்பில் நம்ம வாட்டரை வச்சுட்டு டீ தூள் பேக்கெட்டை வந்து இன்ஸ்டன்ட் பண்ணோம்னா என்ன ஆகிடும், அந்த கலரேஷன் பார்ட்டிகல்ஸ் வந்து அதில் இருக்கக்கூடிய மாலிகுல்ஸோட பிக்மெண்ட்ஸ் வந்து அப்படியே அதில் வந்து வாட்டரில் டிசால்வ் ஆகும். திஸ் இஸ் அன் மெத்தட் ஆஃப் டிஃப்யூஷன். திஸ் ஆர் அன் எக்ஸாம்பிள். நெக்ஸ்ட்டு ஆஸ்மாசிஸ். ஆஸ்மாசிஸ் அப்படின்றது, ஆஸ்மாசிஸ் இஸ் த மூவ்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் சால்வெண்ட் பார்ட்டிக்கல் across a semi-permeable membrane from a dilute solution in a concentrated solution. The solvent move dilute concentration and equalize the concentration of both sides of membrane. The osmosis are three types: isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic. The examples are RBC. RBCயில் நம்மளுக்கு எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. The movement of solvent particles வந்து semi-permeable membrane மூலமாக உள்ள என்ட்ரி ஆகிறப்ப என்ன அது நமக்கு வந்து higher concentration to lower concentration passing ஆகுது. This is called osmosis. Here the concentration of external and internal solution of an organisms are same. ஒரே மாதிரியா இருந்தால் அதுக்கு பேர் isotonic. சேமாக இருந்தால். Hypotonic means here the external solution concentration is less compared to concentration of inner solution organism. In case of water will rush into the organism. Next, hypertonic. External solution concentration is greater than inner solution of an organism. So these are three types of osmosis. Next, Osmo Regulation. Osmo Regulation is a process. The first he identified, Haber, in 1902. The organisms, by the process, an organism regulate the water balance in its body and maintain the homeostatic condition. It's called Osmo Regulation. This Osmo Regulation is classified into two types. One is an osmoconformers and osmoregulators. These organisms, for example fishes, marine fish, aquatic fishes, these organisms try to maintain osmolality to body matching with their surrounding. Most of the invertebrates, marine organisms are osmoconformers. Osmoconformers means organism try to maintain the osmolality in their body matching their suitable environment. Then osmoregulator means the organism or maintain an internal osmolality which can be extremely different from that of a surrounding environment through the physiological process. Next is cellular respiration. The cellular respiration occur in a mitochondria. is converted into form of an ATP molecules. The cellular respiration is classified into two types, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. In aerobic respiration, the oxygen is converted into the glucose combined with an oxygen to form of an carbon dioxide, water and energy. In this aerobic respiration occur in a presence of oxygen. Oxygen எங்கே இருக்கோ இதில் மட்டும்தான் aerobic முறையில் respiration நடக்கும். For example, all the animals, plants, including human being. Then anaerobic respiration. In this type of method, absence of oxygen எங்கே இல்லையோ அங்கே தான் இந்த ப்ராசஸ் நடக்கும். For example, glucose is modified into ethanol plus carbon dioxide plus energy utilization ஆகுது. Next, what is the difference? Aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen. The end product of aerobic respiration are carbon dioxide and water, common in all the animals and plants. Next, anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration takes place in the presence of absence of oxygen. The end product of anaerobic respirations are carbon dioxide and ethanol. In the anaerobic respiration, carbon dioxide, ethanol, lactic acid வந்து forming ஆகுது. Then common in a certain microorganism. All the microorganism involving anaerobic respiration, bacteria, virus, protozoan எல்லாமே இந்த anaerobic முறையில் தான் வந்து சுவாசிக்குது. Next topic is metabolism. Metabolism. What is metabolism? The metabolism is the sum of chemical reactions by which living organisms sustain their life. நம்ம பாடியில் நடக்கக்கூடிய main, the energy is converted, utilized, the waste are collect, sweat are forming. So the metabolic during a metabolic actions, converting energy or waste and water molecule and minerals conversion, these are called metabolic activities. These metabolic activities are classified into two. One is an anabolism, another one is an catabolism. In this anabolism means constructive metabolism. Constructive means building method. நம்ம பாடியில் உருவாக்கக்கூடியது. The glucose are modified into glycogen and other sugar. The glycogen and other sugars are stored in our liver and muscle for a future use. The new cells are grown up in this anabolism. Two or more molecules, small molecule are converted into large molecules. Example, carbohydrate, protein, fat. Carbohydrate are converted into glycogen and other sugar modification also. Proteins are modified into enzymes, hormones and amino acids. Then fats are converted into fatty acids. Fatty acid எப்படி ஸ்டோரிங் ஆகுது? கொலஸ்ட்ராலாவும் அதர் ஸ்டீராய்ட்ஸ் ஸ்டோரிங் ஆகுது. நெக்ஸ்ட்டு catabolism. Catabolism is a destructive method. It is a process that energy is required all the activities in this cells. In this process cells break down. In the method cells வந்து break down ஆகும். Large molecules carbohydrate to release the energy. Then in this catabolism, the carbohydrate is converted into glucose. Glucose are converted into carbon dioxide, water and heat. Proteins are converted into amino acids. In our body, repeated anabolism and catabolism. இது அப்படியே நம்மளுக்கு ரொட்டீனாக நடக்கிறதுனால தான் நம்ம பாடி homeostatic conditionல பேலன்சிங்காக இருக்குது. So the metabolic process is caused. The ionic balance or imbalance you are caused by disease. இப்போ இந்த ரெண்டு ப்ராசஸும் ஒழுங்காக நடக்கலைன்னா உன்னுடைய growth, development, maintenance and repair of cells எல்லாமே பாதிக்கும். So the metabolic action is very important. It is occurring in a different organ in a living species. எல்லா உயிரினங்களையும் இந்த மாதிரி முறையில் தான் மெட்டபாலிக் ரியாக்ஷன்ஸ் நடந்துகிட்ருக்கு. Thank you, students.